there were strippers that were on the pill and strippers that were
Like
ovulating.
strippers, like on the pole strippers?
Yeah.
Strippers that you find at 11 in Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and some of them were ovulating and some of them were on the pill. And the ones that were ovulating got twice as many tips.
Stop. Oh, what? Stop.
Because it's the pheromones that you're blocking with the pill. But
Wait,
I
feel
talk
like
a lot about
Heal
stress.
with being a bitch. That's what I want to talk about.
I literally, let's do it.
yeah.
Coming to you from Spring Place in Beverly Hills, welcome to 8020. My name's Georgia Sinclair, and this is...
Oh, me? Yep.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. I was like, hi. I'm just so excited already. Shanina Shaik.
And today we have biohacker Aggie Lal, who I'm a big personal fan of yours, by the way.
Aww.
She
No,
is.
really, like this is a very exciting interview for me because I am, in fact, a biohacker. I'm labeling myself that officially. And this here is Bioslacker.
I'm a Bioslacker. Two different terms
That's
of the
why
couch.
you work so well together.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it honestly is. We do have the yin and yang, the 80, the 20. But yeah, so
And this is the most annoying thing about Bioslackers. They always look so good. You're
I
like,
know.
what the fuck?
I know.
Thank you.
Like, literally
Well,
supermodel, bioslacker.
I'm
Yeah.
Shanina Shaik and I'm a Bioslacker. No, but I'm interested in being a biohacker. There's a difference. I'm reading your book slowly. I was saying this before. I haven't been so well. My eyes hurt. I have a migraine. But I'm invested in about learning about being a biohacker and what is a biohacker for all the bioslackers out there who don't know about being a biohacker.
It's such a tough question because it technically means hacking your biology. But I think biohackers are just a group of people that hate feeling shit and love feeling amazing. And it's like there's no upper limit to feel amazing or feeling amazing. It's like no upper limit to health. So I can continuously improve and continuously feel better in my own body, reverse my biological age. So, yes, you have your chronological age, which could be 35 or 45 if you're listening to this, but you can reverse your biological age and really just Benjamin Button yourself, really.
Wait, so that's a real thing? You can actually dial back the clock.
Oh, yeah.
How do I do that?
We all want to know.
She's read the book, so she probably knows what's going on. But how do I do that?
Basically, everything in biohacking is how to reduce inflammation and reduce your... So basically, aging is a disease. It's like it's a sickness. So if you can be in really great health, you will reduce your biological age, whether you're trying or not. And so there's so many things you can do. You can change your diet. You can learn how to fast according to your cycle. You can detoxify your body. So you're, I don't want to use fancy words like mitochondria so early in our relationship. Because
Yeah.
we have a Bioslacker.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Spell it for me.
But there's so many, oh God, you can do so many things that you really just, you literally Benjamin Button your face, your body, your sex gets better, your life gets
Wow.
better, you're more charismatic because you just have more energy. It's just like, I think money was the currency of, the previous century, and 21st century currency is energy. It really is.
I agree. And I mean, the proof's in the pudding. Look at you. You look amazing. Your skin is glowing. You're fit. You're healthy. You're well rested. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm a biohacker, but I'm a biohacker in development. It's like, I'm definitely not where you're at. I still sleep like crap most nights.
She's got a lot going on with her sleep too to help her.
Man, right now, yeah, because I live in New York, so I'm staying with Shanina. We're currently sharing a bed. The baby's
She's
in
a
the room
sexy
next
lady,
door.
I'll tell you, when she's asleep.
Okay, so I sleep like a biohacker, and Shanina dies laughing every night. So this is like, just for all the guys out there, I'm single who are interested in dating me. I wear a night guard. I wear an Invisalign. Then I mouth tape.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you basically looks like a boxer.
It's like
like
it's like
She's
a
my
mouth
babe.
guard with tape across my mouth. And then, I'm sitting there reading in my blue light glasses, and then I put the sleep mask on, and it's all very
And then the dog comes in. She's like, "Woo, woo, woo, woo."
I've got a couple of French bulldogs, and one of them likes to make out with you. So I'm like trying to tell the dog off while I've got the mouth tape on. It's very
So
sexy.
tell everyone why you use a mouth tape, because that's actually
So I use mouth tape.
No,
I'm
because you're
interested-
weird. Yeah.
Do you mouth tape?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, So I need to mouth tape.
Because she was giving me shit about it. And I'm like, no, trust me, this is a biohack you want to get on.
I love it. It's so funny. Did you read the book, Breath?
I didn't.
Yeah, but that's
I'm going to be
like-
honest, I copied my friend Jason Strauss. Do you know Jason Strauss?
No.
Okay, so he's one of the owners of Tao Group, big into mouth taping. And I
Good to
noticed
know.
like he was always like posting about mouth taping and
I think we should do like a mouth taping party. Like we all show up and it's just body language.
Wow.
it's a great idea.
It's very
can-
niche,
yeah,
but I
You
think
make
we
out
can-
with mouth
I think
tape
you can
on.
connect
Oh, the
more,
yeah.
connect more with body language and energy and eyes.
Right?
Sometimes.
I
with
think
all
we
the-
like, especially him as the head of the Tao Group, I think we can like, that
Yeah.
could be next restaurant concept.
Wow.
The mouth tape restaurant. What do you do?
Like you can only
inhale
eat
it
through
or-
the straw.
Yeah. yeah.
Oh,
it's-
God.
You can have that one for free, Jason, as a winner.
Yeah,
So
you're
you
welcome.
So you
Yeah.
mouth tape when you
Yes.
sleep too.
So I think my goal with the book is like, sure, like biohacking can get really expensive, and I say it's a little bit like really expensive. It's like good golf, right? It's full of white, rich, fantastic men, and I love them, and they're super supportive. But I am scared that people are gonna think like yourself, oh, you're mouth taping, you're doing this. Oh, it just sounds so overwhelming. So you said words like I'm in development. Like there's no such thing. It's like even if you're doing one hack, you're already a biohacker. There is no like you're either doing everything or you're not one at all. We women are the OG biohackers. So we biohack because we have to. We have menstrual cycle. We give birth. Like fuck, you just gave birth to a baby. Like that is how much did you have to like watch what's going on with your body?
A lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. It's trauma to your body, but it's beautiful at the same time.
But even the pregnancy is like,
yeah.
how does this feel? How is this? Like, it's literally what biohacking is just like learning to listen to your body. Your body's speaking with another language. It's called signs. So you basically need a little dictionary, be like, oh, this means this. It's kind of what you do, the same thing with pregnancy, right? You learn how to understand what your body is trying to tell you. And a lot of times we think, oh, my body's not listening to me and I wanted to do this, but I can't. I'm like, no, you're not listening to your body. Like that's the thing, right? It's just a very simple principle. And so the whole point about the book, I started writing and putting all these fancy
Here is the book, by the way.
hacks
When is it out?
on Sunday. So
Ooh, it'll be out by the time this podcast's out.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting. It's called Biohack Like a Woman.
Yes.
yeah, so I was like, okay, I feel like there's so many amazing books by Dave Asprey and other biohackers that talk about all the fancy tricks, and I want to just go back to the basics and find like marry the holistic wellness and biohacking and figure out what hacks can you do for free. And I have a lot of like preferences in the book, so none of these are rules for biohacking because I think rules are rigid, and if we don't follow them, we feel like we're failing or whatever.
Yeah.
So these are preferences. Sure, you could prefer mineral water over tap water, but like if you have a glass of tap water, you're not gonna die. Like, and that's the whole thing. It's just like let's debunk the whole black and white, the orthorexia, because we women like once we have a rule, like we follow all of them. We want to be really good at it, and let's just feel like you know what, fuck it. I can be a bioslacker. I don't have to get everything right. My body can detoxify. Sure, we're here to support it, but at the same time, like we're gonna be okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I want to first of all, I don't think we answered the mouth tape question. So let's answer why we mouth tape.
oh yeah,
So what mouth taping is, it's a piece of tape that it's pretty cheap. You can buy it on Amazon, whatever. You put it over your mouth at night and then you go to sleep, which I know sounds a bit terrifying, right? Like my biggest fear, and I actually worked through this in ayahuasca, which is something else we'll talk about, is suffocation. So for me, I had this fear before I started mouth taping that I was going to put it on my mouth and then die in my sleep.
did you do like a past life regression
With
like an expert who can take you back to your
probably.
past life?
You
'Cause I
probably had a
think
past life at, like
Yeah.
drowned or something like
I
this.
haven't done that, or at least that hasn't come up for me. But I did work through it with the Aya, and so now it's
What
not.
came
like
up?
Well, it just killed me via suffocation. So
So she actually.
I had a death via suffocation, and it was very peaceful. And
Wow.
we'll get into the Changa ayahuasca thing in a little bit and explain how it works. But basically,
it's
let's
another
talk about now.
biohack, just a little bit less mainstream.
Yeah, so it's a plant medicine that you drink or smoke. I usually do it in the smokable form called Changa, and so this time that I did it, I set the intention of healing this fear, and that fear very much came up, and I went through a death in it, which is, I guess, like an ego death. Where I actually experienced the air leaving my body, and then nothing came into my body, and then I died, but it was very peaceful. So that was how I worked through that fear.
Wow.
Anyway, so after that, I started the mouth taping. And what I discovered was, because I didn't really know what to expect from it, to be honest, I was just copying a friend. And then because your mouth is closed, you're forced to breathe through your nose all night. And then I woke up in the morning, I was like, holy shit, that sleep was good.
Really?
Wow. Oh my God. All these years I've been, looking like a goldfish going to sleep, sucking air in through my mouth. And
is it true? Because it's
whole
true,
time.
we have to breathe through our nose more. We forget
Yeah, that's
to.
why I'm like, I feel like if you guys watching this, I know I'm supposed to promote my book, but I can't. It's like the book Breath has changed my life. I heard people raving about it. I'm like, who would write 200 pages about how to breathe? Like, it should be one sentence, breathe more. That's it. And the whole book is about breathing less. And I was like, what? So we over breathe all the time.
Yeah.
And we usually don't close our mouths properly. And then it goes down to our palate not being properly developed. And this is the kicker. I kind of mentioned in a book a little bit, but there was this guy, and this is going to be a little regression, but he was a dentist in 1920s, and people would commit suicide out of toothache back in 1920s. And his name was Weston Price. So he decided to travel around the world and figure out, like, why are people, is this normal? Like, is this normal that kids that are 5-6 years old have tooth decay? And he went to these super indigenous tribes that had no access to the outside world in Switzerland and the Amazon jungle and Eskimos and like Gaelic people. And they had perfect teeth, super wide, like high cheekbones, super wide like teeth. The women gave birth at night next to their husbands while they were asleep and no pain. And no kids were crying. And he was like, what is going, it's the exact opposite of what's going on. So he started to dive deeper of like, it's just like, how is that possible? Yeah. And so he realized that the second generation of the same people that had access to white flour and sugar had crooked teeth and underdeveloped palate. And that meant that women underdeveloped their hips, so they couldn't, that caused an extreme pain when giving birth and all the complications. So for him, that was all connected. Now, fast forward to now, if we breathe through our mouth, we actually underdevelop our palate even more. And so we create not so nice cheekbones, so you're like a perfect example of what we want to have, like really high, beautiful cheekbones, super even. And that's happening when you breathe through your mouth. Through your nose. Oh,
so I must be breathing through my nose.
Yeah, you must be.
Yeah, you must be. So it's like naturally,
maybe.
right? So that's what we want to do because it's not only healthier for us, we get better sleep. Our bones can change. The shape of our head can change just by breathing through our mouth.
No way.
Yeah.
I used to have a deviated septum for years until I got like more than a decade because I had brain surgery through my nose to remove a tumor. That's another story. But yeah,
I love how you just dropped it like that.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot on the pod before.
Yeah.
But yes, I had a brain tumor and they removed it through my nose because it was a pituitary tumor. So I'm very familiar with all the hormone stuff that you talk about because I've lived my life with unbalanced hormones. Wow. And I probably will always live in my life with unbalanced hormones because there's still a little piece of the tumor in my head that they couldn't get out. But they did take the most of it out and the surgery was about as successful as it could have been.
Wow.
Anyway, they took it out through my nose. And because there's no feeling in that part of your face, they broke my nose during the surgery. And I didn't know about it. I wasn't told about it. And over the years, I had a 70% deviation in my nostrils and my nose started to separate. So I got it fixed when I noticed my nose was weirdly getting wider a couple of years ago. I went to see
Dr. Raj Kanodia.
Dr. Raj Kanodia, who's amazing. And he's like, oh yeah, it's like on an angle up there. Like, this isn't good. And then when he went in and did the surgery, he pulled this like huge chunk of bone out that had just been floating in my nose.
No.
Yep, got this on video. So he fixed my nose. And then afterwards, I remember when he took the packing out, he's like, take a breath in. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, what? And I honestly feel like I hadn't breathed through my mouth for more than a decade.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what that does to
And
health.
it's like all the health problems that you thought because you are broken or lifestyle or whatever the story we add, you know, like we women are so fucking good at creating the story about why something that is just very easily fixable, quote unquote, like proper breathing. And we think, yeah, I'm not good enough. I'm broken. I'm not as hot. Like, you know, I'm never going to be all of the things. Instead of just like, actually, just maybe don't breathe through your mouth.
Yeah.
And
So
I'll fix it.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I'm curious, how did you start biohacking? Why did you want to decide like to biohack?
Yes.
What was your
I
story?
didn't. Obviously, I was like a very typical 20-something-year-old of like, oh, I'm healthy. I'll worry about health when I'm 60, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really like, I wasn't smoking. I wasn't really getting super drunk, but it was just like, I thought I was eating somewhat healthy, but I was vegan, right? So that was back in my travel blogging days. I'm traveling 300 days a year. And like slowly but surely, I had less and less energy, which I'm sure you can relate when you're touring and you're just like, you feel like it's
Oh yeah.
normal because you're jet lag, lack of sleep, radiation, da da da. And the vegan diet, of course. But hey, I was skinny. So I'm like, if I'm skinny, I'm healthy, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that's,
That's
you
the
know,
idea that we have in
yeah,
our
that's
head.
like, yeah. And so went to Bora Bora, cut myself on my foot and I couldn't heal. I kept bleeding. Go to a doctor and he's like, I'm just gonna run your test. And he's like, oh, you have like, you're pre-diabetic. I'm like, no, I don't eat sugar. I
Wait,
don't eat
skinny,
cakes.
hot Aggie is pre-diabetic.
yeah,
yeah.
that's crazy.
How?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was 100 pounds heavy, so 45 kilos, whatever it is.
So like a
thin.
feather?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't get any smaller. I'm petite,
Yeah.
by the way. And so he's like, oh, you know, it's the cortisol. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm not going to ignore you because I have another trip, but thank you very much for this advice. I'll just eat even less or whatever I thought I would be doing. I just didn't have enough awareness of what the food was, and I wasn't eating enough protein, not enough fat, da da da. Fast forward later, a year later, started putting on weight and getting bloated, and that's when I had that tension because obviously now it was getting serious. Then my skin was on fire. I had like just like inflammation, terrible skin, so many pimples. That led to me losing my hair in patches. I had like bald patches all around my hair.
Oh wow.
And then I was like, oh, fuck. And then I got depressed and really just overwhelmed, as you do when you look at the mirror and you don't recognize that person that you used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was so swollen. You've seen my before and after. It was just like
Yeah.
I declined.
I think I followed you actually before you became a biohacker, or at least before you came out as a
Yeah,
biohacker.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I met your lovely fiance,
Yeah.
soon to be husband,
Yes.
years and years and years ago at a dinner. We exchanged Instagrams, and then I noticed all of a sudden he was posting this really hot chick, and she seemed so cool. So I was like, oh, wow, she makes great content. So I followed you as a travel blogger. And then I just like kind of liked your reels. I thought, oh yeah, this is cool. She's in all these cool locations, posting these cool videos. And then you started posting biohacking stuff. And that's when it really piqued my interest. Because I was like, what is this biohacking? I'd heard of it before, but I'd only really heard like men talk about it, to be honest.
Yes.
I'd never really seen a female role model in the space.
Because there are more and more, and like I would want to celebrate Dr. Mindy Peltz and Molly Maloof, and so glad that they're now today. But 3 or 4 years ago, it was just very male-dominated space, and so a lot of things I was trying, and yes, they were working, but it was the same principle, like fast harder and like cold plunge and do this, and you know you would go to these events and they're mostly like male, and I was like, I want women to feel good. I don't want women to be on a diet. We don't need to be. Dieting is keeping women small. It makes us self-absorbed and self-obsessed about food, where in fact we should really just be focusing on how to like
Take care of ourselves.
becoming a better human and like follow your purpose and have an amazing family and whatever it is that is your talent, like just focus on that instead of like which foundation covers like my face the best, so you know we can cover up the exhaustion and the pimples and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Self-absorbed with our image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we are because we deep down feel like not that we could have been looking better because there's something, you know, I used to put fillers and Botox and whatnot, and now I don't because I feel like I now know that this is what this is the best version of me. You know, at almost 37, like I know that I look like myself, but I also feel healthy and good. Versus back in the day, I was like trying to cover up because I could tell that this is not really my fullest expression, my fullest potential.
I came to the same conclusion. I used to do fillers and Botox as well, and I haven't touched fillers in 6 or 7 years. Not quite there on the Botox yet, guys. I still do that.
Oh, I put fillers on my lips because I love my lips. But it's like, but it was just like, do it. If you're doing fillers or Botox, it doesn't really matter, but it's the place you do it from, right?
Yeah.
If you like do it from the energy behind it is very different. You can be doing like, okay, cool, like this is like my self-care, it makes me feel good, whatever, good. But if you go, like I did, I was like, please do something about my face. I hate it. That's different. Right?
Yeah.
I think women also feel like we go to great lengths because we're self-absorbed with our image, and society puts us in place with that, like with aging and changing. Like we're so self-absorbed with how we look that we'll go to great lengths, even putting damage to ourselves to look a certain way, and with age and doing the Botox and the fillers and making sure we look skinny. And when it's like we have to really focus on taking care of ourselves, and you believe like that's what like...
I just have a different attitude. I am still all about being youthful. I just believe that there is the life force, the chi. It's what makes you youthful. It's not exactly you know how like you meet like a 40-year-old woman and you're like, wow, she's so charismatic. She has so much just like youthfulness around her. And that's what we really want. And we see someone who's really done up and it's also 40, but it's just like,
it's
I'm like, you
superficial.
can tell.
She
Like,
owns
superficial.
it.
Yeah. So I guess it's like the two things. I'm like, biohacking is not a quick fix to get you to reverse your biological age, but if you spend a little bit of time of understanding what you can do to reverse your biological age, you can really, it's like a long-term game. It's like a long-term investment, an investment in yourself, and you will see a massive result in 5 or 10 or years. So I've been biohacking for only 4. Can you imagine how good I'm going to look in 10?
Wait, you've only been biohacking for 4 years?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, even though 4 years
The
is a long
changes
time,
are,
I feel
quick.
like that's quite quick, you know?
Yeah, super quick.
And so you... Sorry,
go.
I'm like, wait, we both had so many
so many
questions. So you said before that you got into biohacking because you got sick.
Yeah.
I've got to be honest, I was in the same boat. Obviously, I went through that health challenge with the brain tumor. Another thing I've really been battling is I think I might have breast implant illness. Which,
interesting.
Yeah, which I know you've spoken about. You've had the surgery as well. And, you know, how do you feel about that?
I monitor myself, right? So like I had my boobs done way before I was biohacking, and
Me too. Like 18-year-old decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would I do it right now? No. Do I really want to go through surgery and take them out? Not yet. And I actually mentioned that in a book, that there's a lot of things that I'm not ready to give up yet. You know, and people are like, oh, but you're like the biohacking experts. What about your boobs? And I'm like, they're great. Thank you so much for asking.
They're doing great.
We're good.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not ready to give them up. I don't want to go through the surgery. I don't want to go through antibiotics. Like, I monitor myself. I don't have any of the symptoms. I also believe there's like a mind over matter. Like, if I start to believe that they're making me sick, they probably will. The bodies are absolutely incredible. Like, there's so many things that have to be taken into consideration. If people have symptoms, like 100% take them out. If I start having symptoms, I probably would take them out, you know? And in 5 or 10 years, there might be another technology out there that is, you know, that will help women maybe just prevent that or have a healthier alternative to implants. I think it's really good that we are being educated about this because I don't know about you, but my decision wasn't informed about boobs. It was presented as if like, well, pop them in. They look great. Don't worry. Unless they burst, but it happens like never. Don't worry. Same about the pill. Like my doctor never said like, hey, you might kill yourself, be depressed, or actually you'll never ovulate until you stop taking the pill. That means that you'll be less attractive, less likely to get a raise, struggle with metabolism. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah. So
Less
when you're
likely
on the
to get a
pill,
raise? What?
yeah. So when you're so when you're on a pill, you're not ovulating.
Yes.
Right? That's the whole
Yeah.
idea. But ovulation is your superpower. It's like, it's like your secret weapon that no one ever like set us down and say like, hey, ovulation is the shit.
Because why?
Yeah, why is ovulation the shit?
Because the biology wants us to procreate.
Yeah.
So all our hormones surge around ovulation, and they did studies, I mentioned it in a book, where they took the strippers, and there were strippers that were on the pill and strippers that were
Like
ovulating.
strippers, like on the pole strippers?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
strippers
like-
that you find at 11 in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and
interesting.
some of them were ovulating, and some of them were on the pill. And the ones that were ovulating got twice as many tips.
Stop. Oh, what? Stop.
Because it's the pheromones that you're blocking with the pill.
God,
And
I wish
so-
I'd known this a long time ago. I was on birth control for 20 years.
Yeah, and I got
get that job,
goosebumps, but
babe.
it's
I didn't get all the tips.
yeah.
So you're saying if I'm ovulating, I should walk into a conference room and I know I'm getting that
Yeah, your hair will
Or
fall
11
better.
in Miami, if that's your flavor, you know?
you know.
Yeah, you have a better glow, like on your skin. You're only like your metabolism boosts around this time. You'll be supporting
wow.
your glucose like metabolism. Like there's so many benefits of ovulation, but even the basic one of just like you will be considered more attractive. So this is the time for you to like go and be like, hey, this is exactly what I want in my life, and ask for it.
I feel like males smell the pheromones as well.
Yeah.
Of the ovulation. They're like, there's something in the air. You notice?
I
like,
think you're
I was-
onto something. Like from when I went, because I had an IUD that I had taken out like 6 months ago, and I did notice that like more guys were around after that. I'm like, oh, what?
See?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's been ready.
I mean,
I
like
stopped
on the tan. no.
Lady of
Gee,
the
that sounds bad. The lady of the night cries.
No, but like,
Conversation's going to an interesting place.
But these are the
No.
things that we can only pick up when we're in person. You don't see it on social media, right? Like it's really hard to tell through a Facetune filter whether someone's ovulating or not. But like, I wish the doctors would tell you the truth.
Yep.
And then you, like, am I against the pill? No.
No,
Like, if this is the best thing you can do, do it. Am I against the boobs? No. Just like the decisions we're making as women are not informed because who did your boobs? A guy or a girl?
A guy.
Exactly.
And I think he was looking in the other direction when he did it too, because he cut a major nerve and sliced right up one of my boobs, and I've got this like jagged scar. It's a mess.
No.
Well, but that's the thing. I got my pill from a guy. I got my boobs done by a guy as well. And it's like, here we are doing all these things and all of these options are presented to very young women in early 20s as like, you'll be fine. Everyone does it. I mean, everyone does it. That should be normal. Like, let's not normalize shit that is not normal just because everyone does it. Like, we should be ovulating, and we should really be celebrating our cycle and live according to our cycle, and then you can make an informed decision. If you want to get it, you know?
Yeah, I haven't been a big fan of being on the pill a lot. I'm one of these people who are like, I want my body to do what it naturally does.
So you're a
Smart.
biohacker.
You're a hacker.
Yay, I'm a biohacker. It's just such a change. In 15 minutes, I went from slacker to hacker.
Not bad.
Yeah, I love that. Well, that's good. And also, they're just like, even medication, and Georgia knows this, I was like, barely take medication. I eat, like,
amazing.
yeah, I'm very holistic, naturopathic woman, I guess. I don't, it works for me.
Actually, I wanted to ask you this on her behalf. Shanina's just been very, very sick. She's had a terrible stomach.
I am.
Oh, it still is.
Yeah, I'm
She-
Don't worry, I'm not contagious.
No, she's just come out of like the tail end of her. Trust me, she could not have been here yesterday. She was really not well. But she's just come out of the tail end of her stomach bug. So I would imagine that her gut health right now probably isn't so great.
It sucks. Yeah.
What tips would you have for fixing that? Because you talk about the importance
Honestly,
of gut
though,
health.
I would get a rectal ozone administration.
What in the what?
No.
Okay, this is some biohacking that's even a little advanced for me.
I mean, I
what
did
is
it
that?
after my stomach bug.
Really?
Yeah, so they put ozone up your butt.
But
So that's air, right?
Yeah.
So it's an extra molecule, and essentially it
where
creates
do
a
you
bit
go
of
to do that?
I don't know where you do it.
Just do the vacuum cleaner.
You put it in reverse at home. I'm staying with you right now, babe. I've got you. No worries.
If you
Where
walk
does
into
someone go? I'm Googling today.
Get your Dyson
a
out.
rectal ozone.
Oh,
Just
God.
be 5 minutes, babe.
Yeah. Bend over,
Maybe
Shanina.
6. Jesus. Okay. Sorry.
Oh,
No.
okay, back on track.
Yes,
Sorry.
I'll pay
How do we
attention.
do this?
I'm like, no, I'm trying to think. I'm like, where do I go?
I don't know where you do it exactly in LA. I can find out for you, but usually they're like holistic places
Oh yeah.
would do it. Like it's very popular in Bali because Bali is like way where I live half of the
I love
time.
Bali.
Because they're like just so way ahead of these holistic.
They do ozone therapy for your private
see.
parts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes.
There you go.
I was looking at.
Yeah, it's the same.
You already know what this is.
No, when she said it, I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what it
yeah.
is.
I went to do what's the thing? The ozone therapy for your blood. Like you.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah. So and then on the menu they had ozone therapy for your pom pom.
For your pom pom.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Well, very empowered word.
Yeah.
Go to Bali. Just
Is that it from the dictionary?
that's the Caribbean dictionary. Is it? Oh, they say pom pom.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have a place. There's like Pum Pum Rock. There's a rock that's like Pum Pum. There's different
Where is
names.
it?
Butt rock.
Where is it?
In Jamaica.
In Jamaica. Oh, no
Yes.
way. I've been to Jamaica.
Real
I haven't
Jamaicans
been-
will, if they're seeing this, watching, they'll know what
You
Pum
haven't
Pum
been
Rock
to
is.
Pom Pom Rock.
Yeah.
Pum Pum Rock. I went to Jamaica recently, but no one has invited me to their Pum Pum Rock.
The Pum Pum Rock is like a tourist attraction. As you're driving.
Make sure you add it to your list next time you go to
Yes,
Jamaica.
clearly. And now I feel like, what the hell?
Yeah. So so they do it in Bali. Maybe you have to like.
You can definitely do it in the
you?
US. You can actually get the machine yourself and do it at home.
That sounds so maybe Dyson, there's a business idea.
I feel
Do I
like
just
this
gonna-
is a very big niche that they didn't tap onto.
I think so
But that's just kind
too.
of weird, guys.
Guys, I'm just gonna go blow some air up my ass. I'll be back in 5.
Yeah, and it makes
Pun
you,
intended.
the only problem with that is that it makes you a little uncomfortable because it really just blowing air. So you get a little bloated and it feels like you really want to go to
Fart?
the bathroom, but you have to keep it all in. But honestly, like obviously food poisoning's like not great for your gut.
Yeah.
But it's so healing for you.
Really?
I have
What about a cleanse? I don't know if I'm up for the ozone butt thing, so I'll have to go on Amazon and find me a machine. What about cleanses? Is that an option?
It's so tricky with cleanses because I'm not like the biggest fan of juicing, just
yeah.
because there's so many benefits to fiber, and I think the whole juices smoothie movement that emerged that I was a victim of.
Yeah.
It's really not that good. Like most women that I work with are low key stressed, and 80% of autoimmune diseases are women.
Wow.
And we have this like low level stress in our lives because we're multitasking and we feel like we want to get everything right. We want to be perfect moms. We need to look hot. We need to have a great career. We need to
Be
like,
a
and now add a
housewife. We need to be
podcast.
sexy in the bedroom. We
Yeah.
need to be a businesswoman. We're gonna be a mom. And
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's not enough to be a good mom. Now you have to be an entrepreneur, also fashionable, clearly, also hot, fuckable, go on dates, be funny, have a good Instagram. Like the list just keeps on going.
Whilst also sleeping, looking after your health,
Yeah.
and all the rest.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
a great cook and a chef and the insane amount of expectations. That was just like, we're stressed. And
Yeah.
so when you stress, you don't produce digestive enzyme, which means you aren't able to absorb all the nutrients from the food you're eating. And when you're drinking something from a straw, you're producing even less digestive enzymes, which creates even less absorption of nutrients, but also creates bloating. So a lot of times, like at least from my experience, that all these healthy smoothies, we can't even absorb the nutrients from those smoothies.
because we're not creating the enzyme. Because when we're about
don't
to
break it
chew,
down.
when we're looking at food, it's like
Okay,
the enzymes.
biohacker.
I know this. It's like 3 crazy things, but when you're looking at food, it's like a story. It's a journey. Like your enzymes, like saliva
Yeah.
keeps going, and you need to chew, and that's how your body like absorbs more energy. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Never
and
calling
so,
you
like,
a
this
slacker
whole-
again.
Thank you.
Yeah, and also, what do we feel like? We have a sweet smoothie, so what do? Add protein, right? Because you're saying,
Yeah.
oh, protein's good. Like, protein's important. I remember everyone says protein's important. However, protein is one of the most dangerous, like, macros that we cannot absorb to the point it gets in your gut. It creates fucking smelly farts. It creates like inflammation, right, in the body, and it's just undigested protein leads to colon cancer. Yeah, it sounds a little like a disease when you're 50 years old, but ultimately you're not absorbing the protein that you're digesting, and you're not seeing the results, right? And ultimately for anyone listening to this, you really need to grow muscle, not because I want you to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's because muscle is active. So the more muscle you have, the more sugar you can get away with because it's, you have more insulin receptors. And so there's so many benefits of having strong skeletal muscle, right? So being strong, not necessarily, big booty, whatnot, but just like strong skeletal muscle, but you can't grow it if you don't have enough protein. But I guarantee the protein that you think you're eating, you're absorbing probably 50% of that.
Really? Because I naturally prioritize protein, which I know you talk about in your book.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that for years. I think I really got into it with the blood type diet. Don't know if you think that's bullshit or not. But
I did the blood type diet.
Right. But
Yeah.
as an O negative person, I was told just eat meat a lot. And I do honestly feel my best doing that. But like, I'm one of those people that inhales food like in the car on the way to my next thing. And so what you're saying is I'm not metabolizing that. And
So I
don't
there are
fart, but if I did,
two autonomic versus system. There are two autonomic nervous systems, right? One is fight or flight, and the other one rest and
recovery.
Rest and digest.
Rest and digest.
So
Okay, Bioslacker.
no. So as you know, like fight or flight is basically there's a low level of fight or flight that we're living in, which means that we're not digesting, literally not digesting because we're not producing. You cannot be producing digestive enzymes when you're like in fight or flight, which we mostly are, and so that leads to like the bloating and why all the women are bloated, right?
Always bloated.
Always bloated.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel like most of my life it was bloated.
Me too.
Yeah, really badly. And I realized, and even at my peak of work, and I was talking about this, is like being in swimwear and lingerie all the time. I was bloated all the time. Where I think even the idea
Drinking
of knowing
water.
that I was going to be bloated created more fear. And also I did like terrible things sometimes because I was like, I want to show muscle when I'm on camera. What do you dehydrate your body? But then after that you're like on a plane and then you have to go to a next shoot and I'm like, I look like I don't feel my best. I look like crap because I'm just creating so much trauma and damage on my body. And then I realized like I have an allergy to egg whites and I was eating egg whites every morning. And just
I've been the same. Yeah, of course. There's like every time you have a lot of food sensitivities, it's like a good sign. I'm like, okay, my gut is a little bit struggling, and why? Right there, maybe you have leaky gut because of leptins or lectins or anti-nutrients, something that was very new to me. So they're present in some of the vegetables. Big part of this could be stress, and you and I are exposed to 168 chemicals a day.
wow.
As a woman.
Wait, really? Like how? In what ways?
In between shampoo, your makeup, it's the washing powder that you put on your clothes and then it's resting against your skin.
Wow.
It's like
So men are prone
dishwashing
to
liquid.
less chemicals than women.
Yes, 100%, right? Because we're constantly putting shit on our bodies.
Wow.
Yeah. And this is all men, but like we do wear a lot of makeup and that kind of thing day to day and they just generally don't. So of course,
Wow.
Yeah. And so no wonder we are struggling, right? We're like constantly, if you are living in the city and, you somewhat try to live a normal Western life and you're not actively detoxifying, you're probably full of heavy metals, toxins, and God knows what, just like I was.
I wanted to ask you about that actually, because you mentioned in the book that you test for heavy metals. How do you do that?
You grab a piece of your hair, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you can, I think they do them online now, which is basically you cut the piece of your hair from the back, send it in, and it's all in your hair.
Huh.
They can
wow.
also like scan your skin and see how many heavy metals are in like through the skin. It's actually mad.
And then
Wow.
what do you do to follow up with that once you found out how many heavy metals
Depends
in your body?
how bad it is. We are fearing big meals and steaks. So women tend to have fish. The girlfriends I go out with, fish are like number one source of heavy metals. Second is tap water, right? So a lot of times we're thinking, oh, I'm just drinking water and eating fish. And all of a sudden we have like our hair is falling out and we're not sure what to do. So if it's really serious, you might have to go chelation, which is like a special process of removing heavy metals from your blood. It's super intense. But there are many free things you can do, like dry brushing, the liver pad, like the
Castor oil, is it?
Yeah, castor oil,
I haven't
yeah.
tried that yet, but I did see you post that. I was like,
Yeah.
give that a go.
And also, like, when I sleep with that, I have the deepest sleep.
Really? Ooh.
It's like liver pack, because like all the like, detox.
laughing.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, another
Yeah,
thing.
she just added.
I'm gonna add it now,
Gosh.
guys.
I'm so sorry.
There'll be
No,
a
no.
liver patch.
Next
of
week, she's
castor
gonna
oil.
liver
Yeah,
patch.
it's gonna be hot.
My gosh.
No, but I like oil pulling or even tongue scraping when you wake up, to
Yeah.
like all of like, you know, free things that you can do to help your body detoxify, right?
Wow.
It's one of the things that like I did get into for a little bit, but then my tongue scraper got a bit gross, so I stopped doing it. But I'm gonna start doing. I mean, I was cleaning it, but I don't know. It just like looked gross, so I stopped using it.
You can buy a new one, just off the record.
Well, I just got lazy, basically. I bioslacked and I stopped doing it. But it's something I really feel like I have to start again, because your mouth is the gateway to your digestive system, isn't it?
But also to your health. Like you can tell, like based on how healthy your mouth is, how healthy you are.
Okay.
We said that too.
Yep.
Today, actually.
Yep.
Oops,
tells so
awkward.
No, we can say so much about looking at someone's mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a dentist on last season.
Oh wait, I did see that blowjob
One of your
one.
favorite clips, guys.
Yeah.
One of your favorite
Yeah.
clips.
Oh my
and
god, I
very
watched
knowledgeable.
it yesterday again. I was like, oh, this is so good. But please don't look into my mouth today.
Yeah. Okay. Go Jacob.
After her little chat this morning, yeah. Makeup, I get it. I get it.
It's all right. We're not the dentist. You're fine. Okay, so just going through the book, I
love
feel
the
like
contents.
yeah, and what I love about this book as well is there's all these sections. But last night I was like, shit, I've only read half of it, and I was really hoping to get through the whole book before we talk today. But I was able to actually go through, and you've written like key points at the end of each chapter. So I think I'm pretty familiar with what's in here, and I just want to go through like a few of these things. So the first one was like eating your food in the right order, which is like a very basic free biohack.
Yeah.
Can you explain why you do that?
Because we want to make sure that your glucose is as harmonious as managed as possible, and that is because it can lead to a lot of hormonal imbalances. Oh my god, what a mouthful! So glucose is kind of like it's called the sugar hormone that goes up when you eat something carby or sugary, right? So this is a completely normal reaction. When you eat something, the glucose goes up. Unfortunately, it also goes down. And so while it every now and then not a big deal, but you know, if you're on a vegan diet and you snack 6 times a day on carby things like rice crackers or whatever it was, or a smoothie, you constantly on this roller coaster, right? And so that leads to energy crashes, to acne, to glycation, which is basically aging of your skin. So if you feel like your skin is aging and you're not managing your glucose, it's like, I don't know, you're wasting money on a cream. You might as well just throw them away, because it's like, it really is, glycation is just the aging of the skin. And so one of the best way to do it is just eating food in the right order. So it's not giving up carbs, just have fiber first, right? So some vegetable first, then you have protein and fats, and only then you have the carbs. And it's proven by science that your glucose doesn't go as high if you have some fiber before your carbs and sugar.
So vegetables. What was the second one again?
Protein and fat.
Protein and fat, and then carbs.
Yeah, so the big one, you know, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but oat milk sucks, right? And oat milk lattes are really...
I've gone off oat milk lattes.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
an almond. She gave me oat milk latte the other day, and I was like, "How dare you?"
Hold on. I just gotta I've been off oat milk for a long time. In fact, I got onto coconut milk. 'Cause of
Yes.
you. I just copy you. Now I sound like such a bloody creep.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
But
like,
yeah, did you feel the difference?
huge. Like
Yeah.
now I do this thing, and this is such a great hack because I think I buy organic coconut milk in the can off Amazon for like $2 a can.
Yep, same
mix,
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mix it with filtered water, and then
Yeah.
that's like my milk for the week in the fridge.
Yep.
I do coconut creamer for Zai's yogurt.
Yeah, yum.
Yeah, for can. It's just nothing.
It tastes so much better
nothing.
too.
Yeah, 100%. And like, it doesn't give you a glucose spike, doesn't create, you know, skin issues, doesn't create bloating.
Yeah.
And then we're surprised, and people have like, oh, I really need to have my 4 p.m. chocolate. I'm like, yeah, because you had your oat milk latte
Right.
for breakfast.
Yes, I did
Right.
notice like I stopped crashing when I switched.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember last year I was like, you got to get off oat milk. You're like, no, I'm not going to do it. And then like.
I did it.
You did it. Exactly. But I didn't know she did it. So the other day I was like, here's your oat milk latte. She's like, I don't drink oat milk anymore. I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah, I switched.
Oh,
Yeah,
so you're not a
she did.
Bioslacker after all. Look at you.
I know.
Yeah.
This is teasing me over here. I know quite a bit. I'm a dark horse of a biohacker.
Yeah,
The dark horse.
Yeah, no, is almond milk okay?
It depends for who, right? It's like it's the tricky part with the almonds and anti-nutrient almonds are. So
Yes.
it can create inflammation in the gut.
Because
Oh,
of the
wow.
skin, right? Do they use the skin for almond milk? I'm not like,
That I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
it's one of these things that can create inflammation in your gut. So
ooh.
coconut's like number one choice for sure.
Yeah. Okay. So more coffee places. Please get coconut milk. And
I know.
Please get the clean coconut milk,
Yeah.
not the ones with all the crap in it that you get.
Yeah,
at the
and all
store.
the sugar.
I love it. So what else have we got in here? So you've got eat your food in the right order.
Yep.
And then after that, what's in there? You've got different.
I don't remember. Fuck.
You
I'm
do-
kidding.
She's like, I
wrote
don't
the
know my
book.
No. Funny though, it's like you writing it for so long that like I had to reread it like about 2 weeks ago, even though it's like you read it so many times and so many things go in and out. So I
Yeah.
wrote 600 pages and we had
Wow.
to limit it to 300. I'm like, what did I say again in this part? Okay. Oh, that's in the book. Okay, cool. Like mental notes. But
Wait, I feel
talk
like
a lot about
Heal
stress.
stress with being a bitch. That's what I want to talk about.
I literally, yeah, let's do it.
yeah, I love. That's what I heal. How do you heal stress with being a bitch?
Stop putting other people's first. We feel like we're women are so
Amen.
good at being a martyr and like, you know, like putting ourselves in those situations where we're like, do something for others, but then we expect them to exactly the same to us.
Yeah.
And then we're like, why don't you just focus on yourself? Like make yourself happy. Stop like, and this is, by the way, me in my entire 20s and early 30s. I would get a partner. I would just do everything for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yep,
And then they
can
would be
relate.
grateful, and I would be like, "How can you do how much I'm doing for you?" All
Yeah.
these things. And now I'm like, I realized that I have disappointed, I think 20 people this morning. It was like one after the other. I was like, people wanting shit from me, especially around the book launch, and I have to learn how to say no because
Yeah.
it's my body will say no if I don't.
It will.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have to say no. Even today, I was like, I can't even do 15 minutes early because I
Yeah.
just really
Yeah.
need
It's
to do
okay.
it. And being really comfortable, and people who have healthy boundaries get it. Those who don't will get upset. I'm like, fuck those people. Like with all the love, but
Yeah.
you know, you have to
But you
learn
get
how
you gain the respect as well once
for
you
the people
create-
that like
Or,
are
like-
emotionally mature.
Yeah.
Not exactly
Yeah.
from everyone.
Not
'cause
everybody.
Not
Not
everybody.
everybody's
Yeah.
gonna get it, but
Yeah.
I think for like your surroundings and your community, I was you in my 20s, like literally just gave myself away to
Yeah,
like
no
other partners
problem.
all
No,
the time.
please.
Like
Me
caring.
too.
And I was like, I'm caring. That's part of who I am. But I literally just like sold my soul, like giving,
'Cause
giving,
people
giving
feel it, and you attract people that want to take advantage of you.
Yep.
all the time.
Yep. And
so
you become very codependent.
And how come like
yeah.
this whole like, oh, she's so sweet or whatever, it's become like this like a goal to aspire to. I want to be considered sweet, and especially when you have following, you're in this cage that like, well, now that I have a following, people gonna think I'm a bitch, so I need to be extra nice because
you
I
can
don't
be
want
sweet
people.
and a bitch at the same
Yeah,
time.
so be a sweet bitch basically.
Why is
But-
setting boundaries considered bitchy? Like, I think we should normalize
well, but
that.
only for a woman, not for a man.
Oh, you think that's true? Like,
Yeah.
you think if a man sets a boundary that's never...
Masculine. Oh wow, he's so
Oh.
hot.
Ah.
I've never like and for us it's like, oh, she's being such a bitch.
It's true though.
I suppose if a guy like tells you, no, I'm sorry, I can't do 15 minutes earlier. Oh, wow, he's busy. Oh, he must be important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah.
then if a woman does it,
If-
it's like she's rude or like
Yeah.
she's not professional.
Yeah. We read women very differently. And of course, like we come from this deep conditioning of saying yes to things. So sometimes the delivery of how we say things might not be as good because it does sound aggressive because we're so exhausted that we're like, no, I cannot do it. But you can just be like, hey, like it's just, I just don't want to compromise on X, Y, and Z. So I think the biggest part of the book, as I started diving deeper, I knew that you can biohack to the kingdoms come. And then if you don't figure out your stress, like, fuck it, you're not going to see any difference. But like, what's number one cause of stress? Filling other people's expectations for you. And so I was like, the truth is, if you get comfortable and you can die to your ego, which ayahuasca is super good 4 when she tells you, you know, I have to be comfortable with people not liking me as long as I like myself, and I need to stop expecting others to love me. I need to love myself. This is what we're looking for, right? Why do we fulfill those expectations? Because we want to be liked. Why do we want to be liked? Because we don't really like ourselves. But if you truly do like yourself, you just come from a place of like, just no, I love myself too much. My health, it's too much for me. I'm not going to do it.
Your comfortability.
And if the universe, if the society calls it being a bitch, fuck it, I'll take it.
Yeah, fine.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Amen. I love that you just said if she in reference to ayahuasca.
Yeah.
Because she is
Grandma.
a she.
She's a she.
She's a she. And, you know, the same thing comes up for Shanina and I, you know, whenever we do ayahuasca or changa, is it presents as a woman. Which
Yeah.
I'm the mother.
The mother.
Yeah, very clearly. So,
And
anyway.
how powerful and how inspiring that that's true queen energy. I think we use that
yeah.
word queen left and right. Oh, you're such a queen. But like, I have gone through such a hard ayahuasca experience. I was not well. Let's just
Same.
put it that way. Because we finished the ceremony and then we're having like the soup after, right? Like you finish it, it's like 4 a.m. at that point. And I'm like, oh, something's off. So I go to Shimon, I'm like, I am losing my mind. Something is not right. And that's like,
when you've come out of it at this point.
yeah, it's
Ooh,
like,
this hasn't
all
happened
gone.
to me.
And so I had, he said like had a free round, which is basically something kicked in, and I was shivering. I had this feeling of literally losing my mind. I was like, oh fuck, I'm going crazy. And I'm feeling like, oh, influencer dies doing ayahuasca. Someone in remote US. I'm a great headline. And I was like, wow, I'm really losing my mind. Which I didn't realize the mind is the ego, right? And you are losing the mind with plant medicine because you try to disassociate yourself from this image of who you really are. And she said, like, if you want to like call in all the perks of being a queen, you need to also like own it, right? And you need to go through the hardship and accept it. And we really have, like I always say, like if you don't choose hardship, the universe will choose it for you to help you become who you really need to be. And so hardship will happen. It's how you approach it, and I almost seek it because it's like a muscle. Like I want to make sure that I'm like I love it instead of like
Getting the
avoiding
strength.
Yeah.
Yes. You know
Yeah.
something, you work like at the gym, you're like, okay, I see
Exactly.
what's happening. I
Yeah.
can see the results.
Yeah, like in Kabbalah, it's like you really want to like strengthen that muscle and look for hardships, do hard things. Writing a book is one of the most intimidating things on the planet.
I bet it is. I mean, this is not a small book either. It's nearly 300 pages.
But like, I guarantee, like once it comes out, people are like, "Oh, this is shit. This was she didn't put this. She didn't put that." And I had to. So my first trauma response was like, "I'm gonna write 3 books, sell them as one, give it all out for free, and basically put it everything I know." And I realized, like, am I proving to people that I know my shit? Yes. And I'm coming from this place of like not feeling smart enough and feeling like I really need to prove something to someone. And I had to sit with it and get over that feeling and realize there's not going to be everything in this book because it's only 200 pages.
Yeah.
And what was missing on the market is how to get into biohacking without feeling overwhelmed. And I say that in the book, an overwhelmed woman doesn't biohack, right? We just get into this kind of like, oh, this is too much, this is too expensive. And so I know this book won't resonate with everybody, and that's okay too, right? And so just like, that's really vulnerable position to be okay in, right? Same with the podcast. Like, it is vulnerable. All of a sudden it's just like,
Yep. And I, before we started the podcast, and maybe you experienced the same thing with yours, like there were some nerves, like we're putting ourselves out there in a very different way. I mean, prior to this, Shanina was known for how gorgeous she is. You know, no one had really, they'd heard you speak before, but not like this.
No.
And it's been like, it does take a lot of courage. You have to really step through a fear of like, shit, I might get criticized. And boy, do we get criticized.
You
but
do?
like,
Yeah.
But like now I think, we kind of, sometimes people say mean things and, really mean things, but I kind of like that, people challenge us in the comments. I sort of have an appreciation for it now.
because I mean, they care. Like, once you realize that, like, if you didn't care, like, they wouldn't comment, right? So they're just really, you triggering something in them that they wish they had and they were. And so
Well, that's cool. Thank you.
No, it's true.
You actually said something else in the book that made me laugh. You're quite funny. Like you wrote some really funny stuff. I've had a few giggles since I started reading this.
Yay.
You said something like, okay, Aggie, working out in your tin hat again. Yeah. I laughed at that. That was good. And that was in reference to seed oils.
Yeah.
Okay, seed oils. So I know a bit about seed oils. Seed oils are bad, but I feel like that's something that not everybody knows about. What are seed oils? Why shouldn't we eat them?
Oh, so you guys want to get hate again, huh? All right, so
I'm so interested.
A very controversial topic, right? So back until early 20th century, our grandmothers and great grandmothers were using tallow and lard and butter to cook.
Yeah.
And then one of the Industrial Revolution discovered the side product of producing cotton. It was
like a byproduct.
Byproduct, thank you. Byproduct, and that was cottonseed oil. And so they wanted to use it as soap. And they realized, wow, it looks like lard. We can sell it as vegan lard. And so obviously there's a lot of speculations that that's basically where all the heart disease started. And Procter & Gamble was the first one to sponsor American Heart Association.
Not Big Pharma.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden we had the beginning of all of the sunflower oils and soybean oils and whatnot, which are inflammatory, right? So the problem with them is that we can't really taste them if they add them to your oat milk latte, which there are in all the Oatleys and
So
stuff
oat
like
milk
that.
is full of seed oils.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
There you go.
rapeseed oil. And so they're inflammatory, right? So like if you can go for olive oil, butter, fats that are healthier, like
fats.
your skin, good fats that are healthier, like avocado oil, coconut oil, they will make your skin look so much better and you will reduce inflammation. I think this word inflammation is still like a very biohacking word. It's not very mainstream, but you cannot put like a kilo or 2 pounds or 3 pounds a week of weight, as in like fat. It's inflammation, it's puffiness. And I would love, like if you visit my Instagram, you'll see that if your face is uneven, if your face is like swollen, you have puffy eyes, that this is all inflammation. Your body is inflamed as if you're like twisted an ankle and it's trying to heal itself, which is a normal process. But if you live in this state of inflammation, it's like, it's the beginning of everything, of your skin issues, of your hair issues, of bloating and whatnot. So we want to make sure that we live a very like low inflammatory lifestyle. And so that means removing seed oils.
I feel like seed oils are in everything though, like especially
Yeah.
when you go out to eat, right? A lot of restaurants use seed oils.
Because it's cheap, right? And it's like they're cheap. You can't really taste them, right? Like if you have something with butter, I'm like, you really know it's butter. But seed oils are like, that's the issue. And I love the app called Seed Scout. Seed oil
I have
Scout.
that one.
Yeah, so you can look which restaurant is using seed oils, which one's not.
Ooh.
And we think we're so forward in the US, but if you go to Bali has this like, what oil would you like us to use in your dish? Butter or coconut oil? And you pick.
Wow.
If you're vegan, you use coconut oil. If you're not, you can use ghee or butter. And it's like amazing. Meanwhile, we live in the US. Have you ever been asked what oil to use?
Not once. Never.
Not once. And I'm like, and all of these fancy restaurants, and I'm like, I've been to so many restaurants in the US. Not once someone said something so basic of how you prepare your food. Isn't being a restaurant is all about how you prepare your food?
Yeah.
And wouldn't you, as a restaurant owner, pride yourself in how you do it?
Yeah,
I would
absolutely.
fucking slap bang it right in the middle. I use butter. I only use good oil. And
Yeah.
they're like, it's like, you never know.
Be like part of your dietary requirements, like
Yeah,
please
are you
cook only
allergic?
in butter. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, like, when they ask, like, do we have any allergies? I could say yes, because if you have enough seed oils, it gives you inflammatory reaction, which is similar to a low-level allergy. So you can say, yes, I'm allergic to sunflower oil or whatever it might be. It's just you probably won't be able to eat anything in a restaurant, you know?
It's an interesting idea though to say that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm allergic to seed oils.
Yeah.
Might be worth trying.
But a lot of restaurants aren't educated, but, the change starts with us. We need to just be the annoying people that be like, they didn't introduce what was soy milk back in the day and oat milk because people kept asking and the restaurants and coffee shops wanted to have a lot of business. So they basically kept, providing what we wanted. So we are the people that are making the change. If you keep asking, like, can you make it with butter? Can you have it with avocado oil? Then the restaurants will like change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ask and they'll supply.
Yep.
Ask and they will supply. Well, amen.
Amen.
Sister.
Amen. Gosh, Aggie, I could talk to you all day.
Yeah. Big fan over here.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. No, I just think you're
You
amazing.
know, we can hang out outside of the podcast. You just never ask.
Well, okay. Awesome. But I might be that annoying friend that's just like, hey, Aggie, what do I do here? What do I do there? And, you know, just like asking you all the biohacking tips all the time. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that to you. But
I
would
do it
love
all the
that.
time to Dave Asprey, so please. Yeah, we
Okay.
can have a little group.
Awesome. But no, I think you're amazing. And I think what you're doing is so awesome. I think the book's amazing. Like I said, I'm halfway through it and it's
I'm
a
beginning
very
it, so it's good.
entertaining read. There's so much information in here. And what I really love about it so far is I feel like all of it is super achievable and, you know, free or close to free.
Yeah.
So make sure you get yourself a copy of Biohack Like a Woman by Aggie Lal.
Yay.
And I wish you the best of success with it. Oh, just quickly, I want to talk about this little this little QR code on the front. What is it?
So I realize a lot of people like yourself don't have time to read a book because you have a busy schedule, not because you don't like me, or maybe because
Love you.
thanks. But I was like, yeah, we're busy, but we want to actually understand what's in the book. So the book comes with an AI brain, which took months to develop through interviews like this with this guy who's like a AI humanist. So he asked these behavioral questions. So you really feel like you're texting me. So you scan the QR code and be like, hey, Aggie, I don't have time to read the book. What's the most important thing that I have to remember? And the AI would be like, what is your goal? Are we trying to lose weight? Da, 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 da. And it will kind of help you come up with like a good biohacking protocol for yourself.
Oh, wow.
Even if you read the book, you can still be like, can you remind me the most important points? Or like, I didn't understand that part. And yeah, we'll do it for you.
So
That's
advanced.
amazing.
Yeah,
wow.
I know.
Smart.
2024, hey.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen anybody else do that.
I know.
Yeah.
I think we're the first ones.
You're
but
advanced. That's why biohacking, good brain health.
Right?
Yeah. No, she's a genius as well, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody else. Okay, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for having
coming
me.
in, and
Thank
all the
you.
best.
Thank you.
And we hope to have you back on here one day.
Please,
Yes.
please.